We're building a brand new startup and we're going to share the entire journey with you over the next 12 months. From the first spark of an idea, through design, code, and product launches, right down to our marketing experiments. You'll see exactly how we build the SaaS app step by step. And we're not keeping anything hidden. We'll share our revenue, our analytics, our wins, and even our mistakes. The full, unfiltered story of building a startup in public. So sit back, hit subscribe, and let's begin with the problem we want to solve. At Hypership, we've been developers for a really long time. Web, mobile, front-end, back-end, you name it, we've built it. And through it all, one tool has always been just as important as our coding IDE, the database app, the place where your business and customer data actually lives. But here's the thing, we believe database apps need a complete reimagining. Instead of clunky, dated tools built for old-school DB admins, imagine a database app designed for modern developers and founders. Something clean, strikingly simple, and built to help you move faster. For us, that means 3 essentials. Effortless ways to view and manage your data, beautiful dashboards to see exactly how your product is performing, flexible workflows to import, export, and transform your data any way you need, a modern workbench. But wait, maybe I should stop here because I feel like I'm getting ahead of myself. Three weeks ago, we were wrapping up our first idea, Hypership, a platform for building web apps really quickly. It was awesome, and we spent about a year and a half building it. We learned a hell of a lot, and we just felt like the space was too crowded and we needed a bit of a break from it. And that's when a light bulb went off for both of us, and we decided to start working on scratching our own itch. And let me tell you, this was a pretty big one. The database tools we use every single day, well, they're boring. They're ugly, they're clunky, they're overloaded with features that we honestly don't need. And they're just so painful to navigate. They weren't built for people like us, developers and founders who need to move fast, build and get things done. That's when we had an idea for a new kind of database app, and the idea really started to take shape. But before we started to dive into our IDE and start building anything, we really wanted to take some time to flesh out the idea. What was it that we wanted to actually build? So we jumped straight into TL Draw, an awesome free tool for brainstorming, and started mapping out exactly what our database app should do. First, the basics. You need to view, create, update, and delete your data. CRUD. I mean, it's simple, obvious, and it's pretty much a non-negotiable. Second, queries. Every database app lets you write and run them, but we wanted more. What if you could save and share your queries with your team, like a central library everyone can use? Almost like Postman, but for databases. And for those who struggle writing SQL, we're adding AI. Just describe what you want and the app generates the query. PopSQL actually did this really well, but they were bought out by Tiger Data and are actually now shutting down their public app. It's not great for their users, but definitely an opportunity for us. Third is dashboards. We wanted a way to turn raw data into beautiful, clear visuals so you can instantly see how your product is performing. Chartio used to do this, but Atlassian bought them, and well, it's the same story. They're gone. Not great for their users, but great for us. Fourth is workflows. Now this one feels really simple, but almost no database apps even provide it. Sometimes you just want to get your data out of your database in a very specific format. So we thought, what if you could build workflows visually by dragging and dropping nodes into place? Fifth, it has to look and feel great. Strikingly simple, no clutter, no kitchen sink UI, just a tool that makes you want to use it. And finally, AI, because let's face it, most people are terrible at writing SQL, so imagine just describing what you want and our app generates the query for you. Of course, with strict guardrails in place. So what's the plan for building all of this? Because let's be real, it's a lot. And the only way to make it happen is to stay consistent. When we were building Hypeship over the last year and a half, we made one really big mistake. We basically spent all of our time coding and almost no time marketing. We basically lived in a cave for a year and a half. And in today's world, that just doesn't work. You can't build in silence. That's why we need a different kind of schedule. We've come up with what we call the SaaS schedule sandwich. So a month has 4 weeks, and we're splitting those weeks into 2 layers, one for building and one for marketing. Week 1 is all about building, just pure focus, no distractions. We'll probably not even ship anything during this week. Week 2 is a market week, so this is where we flip the switch from building to shouting about what we've built. That means blog posts, YouTube shorts, tutorial videos on writing SQL, anything that gets our product in front of people. Week 3 is another build week, so we dive straight back into development, taking the feedback and ideas we picked up during marketing week and putting them into action. It's our chance to refine, improve, and push the product forward. Finally, week 4 is our video journal week. This is where we step back, look at everything we built and marketed over the last month and package it into one big video, which is what you're watching right now. So that's our monthly rhythm. Week 1 is to build, week 2 is market, week 3 is build again, and week 4 is a video journal. So every month we'll ship a product, grow our audience, and share the journey openly with you. Alright, so diving into week 1, we had the idea, we had the vision, and now it was finally time to start writing some code. But before we touched a keyboard, we had to make an important decision. The stack. What are we actually going to build this with? Now, this isn't a typical web app, and so we're building something different, a desktop app. And it has to run smoothly on Mac, Windows, and Linux. When it comes to cross-platform desktop development, there's really only one option, and that is Electron. Next up was the UI layer, and for us, the choice was very simple: React. We've used it for years across web projects, and it's become pretty much second nature to us. When you pair React with a desktop framework like Electron, you kind of get the best of both worlds, the reach of a native app with the flexibility of pretty much a modern web stack. So React and Electron is the foundation that we're building our desktop app on. And of course, every database app needs a database. For us, the choice was very simple as well: SQLite. It's lightweight, reliable, and battle-tested. I think it's the most popular embedded database in the world. It literally exists in, I think, 99% of devices. So for us, it just made absolute sense to go with SQLite. Finally, we added Prisma into the mix. Now, Prisma gives us a clean, modern way to work with SQLite. There's no messy SQL statements scattered everywhere, just a type-safe, intuitive layer that makes development much faster and much safer. It means we can move really quickly and avoid a whole class of bugs, and still keep the door open to scale beyond SQLite if we need to later. With Electron, React, SQLite, and Prisma, we've got a really simple stack that's modern and pretty much powerful enough to bring this new database app to life. So that's our foundation: Electron, React, SQLite, and Prisma. It's a stack that's modern and efficient. So with the stack locked in, it was finally time to get into some code. We kicked things off with the welcome screen, the first thing that you see when the app loads. It felt like the perfect place to start to experiment with our design language, set the tone for the UI, and at the same time get comfortable with Electron. Thankfully, Electron Vite made the setup and config surprisingly easy, so we could focus less on boilerplate and more on building. It was a small step, but it laid the foundation for everything to come. When you're building with Electron, your code is split into 3 parts: main, preload, and renderer. First, the main process. This is kind of like the heart of the app. It's where Electron starts up, creates windows, manages menus, handles notifications, that kind of thing. Think of it as a control center that makes everything else run. Next is the preload script. This sits between the main process and your UI. Its job is to kind of safely expose functionality to the renderer without giving it direct access to the operating system. And finally, the renderer. This is where your UI lives, so our React code. Buttons, dashboards, charts, forms, everything the user sees and interacts with happens here. We wanted to start with Postgres because, let's face it, it's insanely popular right now. It's had a massive comeback over the last few years. If you're building anything serious, chances are you'll touch Postgres at some point. That meant we needed a real database to test against it. So we went with Supabase. They make it ridiculously easy to spin up a Postgres instance in the cloud, and best of all, you can get started for free. So with the database running, the next step was to hook it into our app and build a simple test view, which is what you can see right now. A place where we could run through all the essentials, creating tables, defining schemas, running queries, basically putting every core database method to the test. It wasn't flashy, but it provided the foundation and made sure that we could test that everything was solid. With the first build week wrapped up, we were feeling pretty good. We had the beginnings of our UI and all of our Postgres methods working smoothly. Next up was Market Week, and there was one big problem. We didn't even have a name yet. So we turned to our trusty friend ChatGPT. Look, please don't judge us. It's actually an incredible tool for brainstorming names, or at the very least getting the creative juices flowing. Now, the list that you can see, let's just say they weren't exactly winners. I mean, NebulaDB, Prism, Nexo, they sound kind of cheesy, but it did spark ideas, and that's the real value here. Sometimes you just need a starting point. So we kept going, brainstorming, testing ideas, bouncing them back and forth, and eventually we landed on the name DB Pro. Why DB Pro? Well, it's short, sharp, and easy to remember. You don't have to explain it. You hear it once, and you should know exactly what it's about. The DB is important. Most database apps lean on the word table, but we didn't want that. Tables are only one part of the picture. Not every database uses them, like MongoDB, for example, uses collections. And then there's the Pro in DB Pro. It tells you right away this isn't a toy. It's not a side project, it's a professional tool, and it's something you can rely on to do serious work. It screams utility, speed, and focus. So DB Pro became more than just a name. It became the identity of the product. A tool designed for modern developers and founders, with the power and polish to back it up. Next, we needed a logo and an icon for the app. The name DB Pro was already clear and descriptive, so we wanted the branding to reflect that same simplicity. The obvious place to start was with the classic database symbol. You know the one, that little stack or tower with ridges that shows up in every architecture diagram ever. It's instantly recognizable, and it's cliche, but honestly, it works. So I got to drawing. Who am I kidding? We went straight back to our friend ChatGPT and asked it to generate some ideas, and honestly, it's kind of mind-blowing how good the images are. At first, I played around with some fun concepts like a bear holding a table. Yeah, it got weird, but then I eventually steered things back to the classic database icon, which you can see now looks amazing. The real trick with prompting is persistence. You don't just fire off one request and call it a day. You keep going, refining, tweaking, nudging the AI until you land on something that actually feels right. And we did that, and we put them in Figma, and these are the icons. So we've got one for dark mode and light mode. Next up was the website, and we're pretty happy with the way it turned out. I'm a front-end developer at heart. I've spent my whole career working on the front end, so honestly it felt great to get back into some coding, even during marketing week, which felt like I was cheating, but hey, a website is marketing, right? I built the site with Next.js, which is just amazing for building with React. The performance you get from static sites is kind of mind-blowing. I also wanted the site to feel alive, so I added a live product roadmap to the website where anyone can just go and see exactly how progress is going. I thought it did a really good job of conveying that this product is kind of still in progress and it's still regularly updated, and people can just track the progress on there easily. I also included a little sneak peek of DB Pro's pricing. Now, those numbers might change, but we've always believed that you should charge from the very beginning so your users know your value. And you are building a product at the end of the day that hopefully users are willing to pay for, if not just to try for free and then upgrade at the end of it. And of course, no marketing week is complete without checking the analytics. So although this was our very first week, I wasn't really expecting much. Honestly, most of the traffic was probably me refreshing the site on my phone just to see how it looked on mobile. But here's the fun part. There were a few visitors from places like France and South Africa, which, kind of confused me. I mean, how they found the site, I have no idea, but it was kind of a cool reminder that once you put something on the internet, it's kind of out there for people to find. Building the website only took a couple of days, so we had the rest of the week to think bigger. Because when you're building a product, you can't just look at the app in isolation. You have to think about the ecosystem around it. Take Notion, for example. It's not just a note-taking tool, they've built templates, guides, and a whole community. With DB Pro, we wanted to do the same. So we came up with the idea of creating a learning platform right on the website to help people learn databases and SQL. Think quizzes, flashcards, and best of all, a fully interactive SQL playground running in the browser where you can write queries against a real database instantly. It's so powerful for learning, it's fun, it's something I would personally use because, let's be honest, even after years of coding and writing SQL, it's just something I still struggle with. So we're definitely going to continue this in the next marketing weeks, so definitely stay tuned to see our progress with that. Next up was our final build week of the month, week 3. It's kind of wet and dreary here, so we did what we always do. We basically start the morning with a coffee and just kind of relax into some code. Then it was kind of really back to the UI. We refined it, polished it, and, well, check it out. We're so happy with how it turned out. It's sleek, modern, simple. You get exactly to what you want super fast. And, I mean, we're just so happy with it. For now, it was all running on dummy data, so if I click into a connection, you can just see that all of this data is dummy. But that's fine for where we are right now. It let us build out the full interface without worrying about the back end yet. So filtering, sorting, creating tables, selecting rows, all the Postgres methods that you'd expect were there. And they're just kind of ready to hook into the UI, probably for the next build week. Yeah, we're just super happy with it, with how it turned out. I mean, what do you guys think? Can you let us know in the comments what you think about it, what you would change, what you would do differently? I think we will definitely provide a light mode at some point, but for now, we're kind of happy with it being dark mode. We think that's pretty much what lots of people like us want in this day and age, and so yeah, but we will definitely provide a light mode in the future. So remember when I said Prisma was part of our stack? Well, that's kind of where things started to get messy. When I tried to export the app and run it, I kept hitting the same error. It was driving me absolutely crazy. it was an error with Prisma. Basically, the right files weren't being compiled to build. I don't know, it drove me absolutely crazy. I spent days trying to fix it, digging through the docs, nothing. So after a lot of back and forth, we made the call to replace Prisma with something lighter, and that's where we found Drizzle. And Drizzle is a super lightweight ORM with just insanely fast speeds. I mean, look at these benchmarks. The best part was that I added Drizzle to the app and hit run, build, and it just worked. Literally first time, everything built perfectly. You can see me here exporting it, dragging the app into my applications folder, and then running it, and it just loads instantly. I was so happy. It was just like kind of crazy that we wasted so many days trying to get Prisma to work, and the fix was to just replace it with something else. But yeah, so happy. So that's a wrap on month 1 of building DB Pro. We hope you enjoyed the video. We went through the idea to the stack, showing you the initial UI, which we're so happy with. We hope you like it as well. Let us know in the comments. If you do want to follow along, please check out the site at dbpro.app. And we also set up a Discord. The link is in the description. And please like and subscribe this video. It really would mean the world to us. We'll be back next month with another devlog, and we'll have some juicy updates that you won't want to miss.